In the stories and legends of ancient Greek mythology, when people passed away, they were taken to a special place known as the underworld. This place wasn't the same for everyone. For some, it could be a place of peace and rest, but for others, it could be a place of punishment. The underworld was ruled by Hades, a god who was both feared and respected. This variation was based on the actions the person took while they were alive. Because of this, the very idea of dying and going to the underworld was a source of fear for many. People were scared of what might await them after death because their future in the underworld was uncertain. In addition to the underworld, there was another place that was feared even more. This place was associated with Tartarus, a primordial god. Tartarus was unique because he represented both a physical location and a deity. As a location, Tartarus was imagined as a deep, dark pit located far beneath the earth. It was thought to be even more terrifying and unwelcoming than the underworld. The mere mention of Tartarus would instill fear in everyone, not just because of the place itself, but also because of the god associated with it. Tartarus, the god, was one of the first beings to exist according to Greek creation myths. He was born from chaos, making him a sibling to other primordial forces and deities such as Gaia, the personification of the earth, Nyx, the night, Erebus, the darkness, and Eros, the concept of love. These primordial deities represented fundamental elements of the world and existence. Shortly after coming into existence, Gaia, another primordial deity and a symbol of motherhood in the earth, brought the physical world into being. Inspired by his sister's creation, Tartarus decided to create his own domain within this new world. He chose the deepest parts of the earth to construct a vast cavern. This wasn't just any cavern. Tartarus wanted it to be a place of solitude, where he could exist away from others, undisturbed. He envisioned a space where silence and peace prevailed, far removed from the bustling activities of gods and mortals alike. Therefore, he began the immense task of digging and shaping this cavern, marking the start of Tartarus's domain within the depths of the earth. As a deity, Tartarus was often depicted in a very specific way. Imagery of Tartarus showed him as a man with dark skin, which was as tough and indestructible as diamonds. This appearance symbolized his connection to the earth and the underworld, highlighting his strength and the unforgiving nature of the pit he governed. His representation as both a god and a place emphasizes the depth of fear and respect the ancient Greeks had for the concepts of death and punishment, embodied by Tartarus's realm beneath the earth. In the depths of the earth, Tartarus had carved out a cavern for himself, a vast and secluded space that was encircled by impenetrable walls made of solid stone and materials that could not be destroyed. The ground of this cavern was rough, littered with stones, and dotted with pools of magma that glowed, casting an eerie light throughout the cavern. Tartarus felt a sense of satisfaction and pride in this secluded home he had created. He had dug so far into the earth that if someone were to let an animal fall from the surface, it would take 9 full days for that animal to land in his cavern. For Tartarus, who sought solitude above all else, this place was ideal. However, what Tartarus had not anticipated was that his quiet would soon be interrupted, not just once, but on several occasions. The first interruption came from his siblings, Nyx and Erebus. They approached Tartarus with a request to build their own dwelling within the cavern that Tartarus had so painstakingly created for himself. Despite Tartarus's initial hesitation, his siblings' persistent requests eventually led him to allow them to construct their home at the outskirts of his cavern. Tartarus would soon come to regret this decision. It wasn't long before he began to hear the sounds of numerous voices echoing from the cavern's edges. Nyx, in particular, had become a mother to a multitude of children, many of whom chose to stay in the cavern, thereby filling Tartarus's once quiet refuge with their presence. The next major disruption to Tartarus's peace came from another of his siblings, Gaia. Full of excitement, Gaia shared with Tartarus stories about her own children, describing her 12 Titan offspring and her other children as wondrous beings, each unique and captivating in their own right. Gaia's heart swelled with love for her children, and she was eager to have more. It was with this desire that she approached Tartarus, asking him to father a child with her. Initially, Tartarus was reluctant to agree to Gaia's request, desiring to maintain his solitude and peace. However, Gaia was not one to give up easily. Her persistence eventually wore down Tartarus's resistance, and he consented to her request. From this union came the first Dracena Campe, marking the birth of Tartarus's first child. After the events involving his first child, Tartarus experienced a brief moment of peace. However, this calm was short-lived. Gaia, the earth herself and Tartarus's occasional partner, left to return to the world above. the surface where life thrived under the sun. But Tartarus's quiet existence was about to be shattered once more. Not long after Gaia's departure, a disturbing noise echoed through the depths of Tartarus's domain. It was a sound filled with sorrow and despair, the wailing of Gaia's children, the Cyclops and the Hecatoncheires. These were not ordinary offspring. They were powerful beings, each unique in their own right. The Cyclops were giant craftsmen with a single eye in the middle of their foreheads, known for their incredible strength and skill in forging. The Hecatoncheires were even more fearsome, each having 100 hands and 50 heads, symbolizing their immense power and terrifying presence. Their father, Uranus, the sky itself, had grown fearful and resentful of his children's strength. In a desperate act to keep his power secure and unchallenged, Uranus decided to remove these powerful beings from the equation. He chose to banish them, and the place he chose for their exile was through Tartarus's own realm, effectively dumping them into the deep pit that Tartarus called home. This action by Uranus was not only a betrayal of his children, but also an intrusion into Tartarus's sought-after peace. Angered by this sudden and uninvited disturbance, Tartarus reacted. His solution was to construct a massive prison within the walls of his pit. This wasn't just any prison. It was a formidable structure designed to hold the most powerful of immortals, ensuring that their cries and the chaos they brought would be contained. Tartarus imprisoned the Cyclops and the Hecatoncheires, locking away their sorrow and their might behind the prison's unyielding barriers. Meanwhile, above in the realm of gods and mortals, a significant change in power was taking place. Cronus, one of the Titans and a son of Gaia, succeeded in overthrowing his own father, Uranus, to become the new ruler of the universe. This victory, however, did not bring peace to Cronus's mind. He was well aware of the power of his imprisoned uncles in Tartarus's deep prison, and fear of them potentially escaping and challenging his rule plagued him. Seeking to ensure his safety and maintain his reign unchallenged, Cronus turned to Campe, the first Dracena and a child born of Tartarus and Gaia's union. Campe was tasked with guarding the prison, to watch over the Cyclops and the Hecatoncheires and prevent them from escaping. Her role was crucial in maintaining the balance of power and ensuring that Cronus's rule remained secure. This responsibility placed on Campe highlighted the interconnectedness of the divine family and the lengths to which they would go to protect or challenge each other's power. Observing these developments, Tartarus chose to retreat into a profound silence once again. The events that had unfolded, from the intrusion of his space by Uranus's banished children to the construction of the prison and the appointment of Campe as the guardian, had marked significant disturbances in his once peaceful existence. For a long time, everything was quiet in the deep realm of Tartarus, but this silence was shattered when the echoes of a fierce battle reached the depths where Tartarus resided. This disturbance was enough to pull Tartarus out of his long period of silence. Driven by a need to understand what was happening, Tartarus quickly moved to find the source of the commotion. What he discovered was a scene of chaos. The once secure prisoners had broken free from their confinement, and to his despair, he found that his daughter, Campe, had been killed in the turmoil. The realization of these events filled Tartarus with an intense rage, causing his domain, the Great Pit, to shake violently as a reflection of his fury. Not much time had passed before Gaia, the Earth Mother and Tartarus's occasional ally, appeared before him in a state of fury. She brought news that would further fuel Tartarus's anger. The Olympians, led by Zeus, had emerged victorious in a monumental conflict known as the Titanomachy, where the gods fought against the Titans, Gaia's children. The defeat of the Titans was not just a loss for Gaia, but a reshaping of the power dynamics in the world. Gaia, burning with a desire for vengeance against those who had overthrown her children, sought Tartarus's assistance. Tartarus, already seeking retribution for the death of his daughter, readily agreed to join forces with Gaia. Together, Tartarus and Gaia embarked on a mission to create a new generation of beings, giants and monstrous creatures designed to challenge the Olympians and avenge their personal losses. Despite their efforts and the formidable nature of the beings they created, the Olympians managed to defeat these challenges time and again. The battles were fierce, and many tales were born from these conflicts, tales of heroism and the struggle for power and order. In the aftermath of these tumultuous events, a new realization dawned on both Tartarus and Gaia. The Olympians, through their victories, had established a new order in the world, a structure that dictated the way things would be. Faced with this new reality, Tartarus and Gaia made a decision. They chose to accept this new order, understanding that the balance of power had shifted and that continuing their opposition would not change the outcome. This decision marked a turning point. A moment of acceptance and recognition of the new state of the world. With this acceptance came a decision from Tartarus to seek solace in what he had always valued: silence and peace. After the upheaval, the battles, and the loss, Tartarus retreated once again into the depths of his domain. This time, his retreat was not out of anger or a desire for solitude, but a conscious choice to embrace peace. He sought to distance himself from the conflicts and the constant struggles for power that seemed to define the existence of the gods and their offspring. Tartarus's decision to rest in silence was a return to his original desire for a tranquil existence, but now it was also a reflection of his acceptance of the world's new order and his place within it. Thank you for joining us in exploring the enigmatic world of Tartarus and the ancient myths. If you found these tales as captivating as we do, please consider subscribing for more insights into mythology and history. Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and share this video.